drama that's been going on social media. According to TMZ, Khloe Kardashian had to cut it off with Tristan Thompson because the man allegedly got caught cheating again. Tristan came to LA last week for Valentine's Day to spend time with Khloe, but witnesses say Tristan went out a few days later and was seen making out with a girl named Jordan Woods at a party. So check this out. This girl happens to be best friends with Kylie Jenner, Khloe's sister. Right. Word on the street is Khloe confronted Tristan and ended it with him. I'm going to toss this straight over to my guy, Iceberg Jim Jackson. Are you surprised this celebrity couple didn't last?
No.
Why not?
Come on, listen. Once she got paper, he papered up. He's still in the league. He's still young. The number one rule when he got caught earlier at the club and at the hotel, one, you don't leave. If you're in a relationship, you don't leave a club with a girl. Number two, okay? You don't walk in a hotel with one. You leave a key at the front desk, meet him around a little bit later, okay? You never do that. So he was doomed from the beginning. It wasn't gonna work because he wasn't ready to be in a committed relationship.
Preach, brother. I mean, look, he's been acting out like he didn't want this as fully as maybe she wanted it. Whatever reasons. You could say it's because he's young, because he's in the league, because he got his own, he got too many temptations.
All of it.
All of it. But guess what? Even if you wanted it with all that going on, you don't move like this, big dog. Like you said,
you don't move.
You don't
like
even
that.
speak to nobody when you out. Fans only, shoulder up. Here we go, picture, get out my face. That's all you do now. What you gonna do is you gonna do. This situation was doomed from the beginning, and I'm sad to see that Tristan has to get drugged through the mud for it.
I'm not gonna add anything to it other than I think she needs an older man. I think someone between 45 and 51. Perhaps it lives on Wilshire Boulevard. More appropriate, but
somebody that's out the game, right?
Right. All right, Darnell, what's next?
All right, man. Moving on to my favorite cousin, Kirk Cousins. The Minnesota QB has been getting a ton of backlash after posting this tweet while in Miami.
Backlash?
In 2010, I was mad at LeBron for leaving Cleveland. But I've been in Miami for a total of 5 minutes, and now I totally understand. Vikings fans took it as disrespect and went in on Kirk with a bunch of funny tweets and gifs. Obviously, Kirk didn't expect that kind of backlash and later responded to it all with this classic Anchorman line. Boy, that escalated quickly. Should Minnesota fans be this upset, or are they tripping?
No, they shouldn't be upset. I don't even know what they're upset about. He was clearly tweeting from Tootsie's.
The office, right? They shouldn't be upset. They should get a plane ticket and see what he's talking about. If you've been to Miami and realized those conditions in those few square blocks right there, my goodness, there's nothing better in this world than those few.
I lived there and I played for the Heat. Now, it was a catch-22 though, because Pat Riley was on our so he knew everything that was going on. He made practices so hard you didn't want to go out.
I get it.
But, bro, after practice, I'll go down to the beach, have some lunch, chop it up a little bit. It's a beautiful thing when you live there. Go to Prime 112, have something to eat. Have a little cigar on the beach.
Oh, I'll say it again. Kirk Cousins and Tristan Thompson getting it. Tristan, you better kick it with Kirk. And Kirk's still married, but he was like, I shouldn't be here.
I get it.
I shouldn't be here.
Darnell, what's next?
So this morning on First Things First, our guy Doug Gottlieb has some strong words on Manny Machado's historic 10-year, $300 million deal. Take a listen.
10 years for Manny Machado? He was a dog in L.A. He's stepping on the ankles of first baseman. He's saying, I ain't Johnny Hustle. Like, hey, dude, we're paying you $300 million. You're going to be Johnny, Charlie, and any kind of hustle we say you are. This dude's a dog. And you give him $300 million and you put him in San Diego where they're not going to be competitive this year and you expect him to play hard every day? Dude, this is going to be a terrible deal.
Y'all agree with Doug? Is he being too harsh?
I agree with Doug. Name me one of these 10-year deals in Major League Baseball that's worked out. Albert Pujols, Robinson Cano, Alex Rodriguez. Name me Giancarlo Stanton. None of them have worked.
Well, look, we know why it doesn't work on the field because you're just going, Father Time's undefeated. You're going to get out your prime during that deal. But it works in terms of attraction. It works in terms of the economy of baseball, which has been a regionalized sport, which has been a localized sport. I've been down to San Diego recently and for the Padre games last year. They needed that attraction. They thought that they were getting it a couple of times. They've swung for the fences before. And this is their way. No other way, because they're not going to win in terms of on-field performance, bring that attention. So they try to win with star power.
Cost of doing business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in regards to getting fans in the stands, marketing, TV, doing all of those things. Now, the thing is, and Jason, I agree with you on this, that 10-year deal, especially on the back end, is where you pay. Because he can have success early on, but then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those years back then, now the value is not there. He getting that bag.
This is A-Rod all over again. He wants to play shortstop. They got a good young shortstop. He's going to have to play third base. He's not going to be happy. Now, that new stadium is like 15 years old or something, and so maybe he will draw some extra fans because the stadium's no longer the draw and they're not going to win a lot of games.
There it is.
All right, Darnell, it's time for Darnell's question of the day. Take it away.
It's Darnell's.
My guy. My guy.
My question of the day.
My guy. My guy.
My question of the day. 285 pounds. Something.
Oh, dog. Get him.
Dickie Longstock.
All right, next time that come on tomorrow, everybody look at his boy's camera phone in the beginning, the first clip. It's LeBron's all-star first one. Remember that little baby, that little flip? Oh, man.
All right, man. I love my haters. But anyway, yesterday, Steph Curry and former President Barack Obama spoke to the youth in Oakland at a My Brother's Keeper event. We all know athletes have become much more politically active as of late. But do y'all think pro athletes should be leaders in politics?
Wow. I'm glad you asked this because I have an answer and I can't wait to get the reaction to the athletes. I don't think so.
I knew that.
I
knew that.
Let me explain why.
Okay.
Let me explain why. I just think athletes haven't realized, and we as the public haven't realized, things have changed so drastically for athletes. We keep wanting the athletes to be like Jackie Robinson or Muhammad Ali or John Carlos and Tommy Smith, and we haven't realized, and again, this is where I want y'all's reaction, because I don't think y'all have realized that when you go from a college campus at 21 or 22 years old, or in the NBA at 19 years old, and then you become a millionaire, there are so many life experiences that you have missed that don't give you a full perspective of, and so we keep like saying with LeBron James, you know, he struggled as a child. That was his parents' struggle. I grew up poor and had no idea that we were poor. My mother says it all the time. My father says it all the time. That's your parents' struggle, not yours. There are so many life experiences that the high-profile athlete misses out on. And look, more power to them. Go from college to being a millionaire, but there's all parts of the struggle they've missed and don't understand, and that's where I think their disconnect is from working class people.
Agree with you, actually. Respect for your reasoning. Mine's a little different. From my experience, I think the athletes should be supporters in terms of politics. They should lend their platform to help the message have more volume, but they shouldn't dive into it. I'll give you a case in point, whether it's a Cornell West or Michael Eric Dyson. These dudes have PhDs from Princeton, and they're the ones that should be speaking to the fullest of this versus a guy who's like, hey, man, I just finished practice, but now let me go and get the Cliff's notes of this and try to dive into it. I just think that it takes so much more expertise, in part through experience, that athletes should be supporters, but not necessarily the leader.
So are we talking about current athletes or just athletes, period?
Well, I think professional athletes.
I think it's critical because if you look at a Bill Bradley, a Steve Largent, if you look at...
Panera.
That's what I'm saying. Are we talking about now?
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. I do believe there's a place, because at being an athlete, it teaches you, especially a team sport athlete, it teaches you, one, how to deal with others. It teaches you communication skills, okay? It teaches you how to grind and actually put your head down and achieve something. Now, along the way, it is, I think, a slot for an individual to step over to politics. But they have to be careful when they take that step, that they really dive in and understand that. I don't think you should just go away from it. Dave Bing was the mayor of Detroit. Again, a different era, but it's happened. You had Jesse the Body Ventura, who's the governor of Minnesota. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's been a crossover with certain individuals who dedicated themselves to understanding the political landscape. And if you can do that...
As an active player, though?
But like I'm not as an active player.
That's what I was saying, as an active.
Post.
Well, post, yeah. Once you have the full attention, once you now have read up, you have had the experience, I give you some
People
of that.
get upset when I say this, but this is just a fact, and I don't care if people don't like it. These athletes of today's era, with the millions of dollars funneled to them, and the way that they're treated by society in a very privileged way, they're really no different than Donald Trump. And I don't particularly want more of that. I don't want the pampered of society in key political positions, because I don't think they can relate to the masses of society. Whether we like it or not, when you walk off a college campus to millions of dollars, you are part of the elite. And it's hard for your perspective to be in line with the working class.
Let me give you a pushback.
Yeah.
You said you grew up poor, but it was a parent's issue.
It was my parents.
Okay, so that's you as an individual. It is the case in point where, let's take a LeBron James, and I'm just speaking in terms of generalities. If you're moving from school to school, place to place, that can become a personal issue to that young man that affects him mentally, his confidence. So it may not affect you, but it can affect somebody else who's going through that. So it's not just the parents' issue.
Thank you.
He has to go to school and deal with the fact that maybe he doesn't have the right clothes and kids are teasing him. Yep. But that's something personal to him. Just because it didn't happen to you, that doesn't mean it don't happen to other people.
But again, those bad experiences as a child, I'm not sure if they make you a better political, I don't know if it helps your overall political point of view.
Why not? It gives you a perspective of what it is to be at the bottom in regards to not having this.
But now you're living in best of both worlds.
Exactly. Now you know what you don't want.
You live in the low and the high.
Now you know how to speak to that.
As a child, not as an adult. Voters or adults. Policies, for the most part, should be catered for adults and what helps the overwhelming mass. The experience of going from real poverty, and again, let's just be clear about LeBron, by the time he's 12 or 13, I'm just sorry, life is completely different. Everybody knew this guy was on track to be an ungodly basketball player. So that little limited experience as a 12-year-old just doesn't prepare you.
Let me push back real quick. For me, I'm going to take personally. Grew up in the central city of Toledo. Went to Nathan Hale elementary school. We had used books. We didn't have all the stuff that other schools had. I knew we were behind, okay? I got bused to a junior high school where it was integrated. I had to deal with that. So those experiences to me, now when I'm talking about giving back to the community, shaped my thought process as I got older on why I want to do things. So those things to me stuck with me. So if I were trying to do something politically, I do have a base of understanding what happens in those situations.
And the last thing, because we got to go way over.
I love this.
There's a bunch of experiences that grown people have from age 21 to 45 that struggle, working class people. That I'm just sorry, you haven't experienced, you have no, and that's the overwhelming reality for most Americans that you have no experience with. Now, I respect your experiences as a child, but the overwhelming, that doesn't prepare you for what the rest of society, working class society, experiences from age 21 to perhaps death. We gotta go.
But knowledge is not just gained through struggle. Come on, man.
Coming up,
preach.
Come on, y'all.
The hype for Zion Williamson and Duke's matchup with UNC is off the charts, but can college basketball find a way to keep its biggest stars? We put on our thinking caps. Nurse!
Wow.